guys, so for today I want to do a BD drift breakdown as usual, but today I want to focus not really on my good runs, but I want to really focus on my bad runs, the runs that I was having issues with. Kind of go through with you guys why grip level is so important, and understanding your grip level, understanding what tires you're running and different pressures to run them at is such a crucial aspect of drifting. You'll see in the first two clips or the first segment of this video that I was having a lot of grip issues. I want to share with you the differences between having the right amount of grip and too much grip, especially in the rear, because that's a lot of times you'll have understeering and you'll get your car dialed in and you'll swap a set of tires and all of a sudden you're understeering again. When you're first starting out, I always suggest, and I talk to a lot of people and they kind of suggest as well, to find used tires, learn on used tires. There's no need to really run brand new tires every single time you go to the track. For this first couple clips, I was running snow tires. I see a lot of times my car is pushing and very jerky, because as soon as I'm mid drift, when I go to manji or transfer my weight, it's snappy because it grabs grip, it bites down and then pushes me, and then I have to get high in the throttle. As you can see right now, I counter steered too early for the amount of grip level I had. My grip level was real unpredictable, and all of a sudden I started having too much grip in the rear and it pushed me towards the peak of the turn. When I'm supposed to be in mid drift, I was understeering and my front tires were getting pushed instead of gripping and sliding out the rear. You have two choices. You can kind of power out of it or kind of grip up and just gain control again. I powered out of it this time. You'll see that it took me a little bit to realize that it was my rear tires gripping up too much. At first I thought it was unpredictable, but realistically I had too much grip in the rear. As you can see, I'm still struggling with understeering, and as soon as I hit that apexi, it kind of shoots me, and as soon as I go to reinitiate, front tires are just getting pushed and my rear tires have way too much grip. And again, you'll see the difference on when I make the correction, and what I did was I lowered air pressure in the front and raised it in the rear, and it was night and day difference. So here I wanted to point out, when you're on the wrong line, it's crucial to make the proper adjustments. I take it wide right here, and that's fine, but I didn't extend and drive straight to connect the drift. You want, as the turn progresses, you want to feed in less angle to throw your car to the next turn. So you can see me kind of hold on to the wheel too long, just for a split second. It threw my car way too shallow and there was no way to recover. Again, you can see a lot of the times when I'm transitioning my weight, it's jerking back and forth. It should be buttery smooth. A lot of times you can fix this with more throttle and more consistent throttle control. If you just stay in the throttle while you're transitioning your weight, usually that will correct it, but a lot of times you want to make sure your tire pressures are set for the right grip level. This next clip, I want to show you guys when you have a error on your line. On the wrong line, you can feed it and correct yourself. So pretty much kind of cut your line off and just kind of pick up where you would have transitioned your weight if you were on the correct line you wanted to take. You guys, if any of this makes sense, post in the comments below. I'd be happy to kind of elaborate on some of these situations, on what I found works best for me. So make sure you guys are posting in the comments below any questions you have. And I'm not an expert. This is just, I love reviewing my footage to see what I did wrong. I want to show you guys what it looks like when I made those adjustments in my tires, and what's the difference on transitions and how my car reacts when I'm trying to get through the track. So you can see me manipulate when I transfer my weight. It's almost smooth. Our heads aren't jerking back and forth. So grip level plays such a big factor when it comes to drifting. You want to make sure you have the perfect amount of grip. That way you can predict what your car is going to do, and then focus on throttle control, steering wheel adjustments, and all that good stuff. See, the transition was buttery smooth just because I stayed heavier in the throttle. I didn't lift whatsoever. a lot of times I lift mid-transition just a little bit, just to scrub a little speed. It's something I'm working on to stay heavier in the throttle. That way those transitions aren't as jerky. But all in time, I'll get there. Okay, so understeer 101, back at it again. My rear gripped up too much, and I didn't transfer my weight hard enough. You really want to make sure when you're about to go off track, that your wheels are straight and heading in the right direction, because you can break you can bend tie rods that way and debead your tires, and kind of cause havoc if your tires aren't facing the right way. Should have had the right adjustments made. It could have been throttle control too. A lot of times you can grip up too much if you're not heavier in the throttle. Here we go. I want to show you what a smooth, well, relatively smooth run looks like. Once I got my car dialed in for the day, you can see less jerkiness, a lot of smoother transactions. So you can see that I'm getting a little better with hand control as well as throttle control. I can still work on throttle control. I don't think anyone's ever perfect at throttle control. There's always improvements that I can make personally. I'm moving on to better throttle control as well as e-brake adjustments next, and that's kind of this weekend. We're going to be at Englishtown, New Jersey for that road course, and I'm going to really try to enter faster as well as use a little bit of an e-brake to make my adjustments, because there's a lot of situations there where you can manipulate the e-brake to put yourself in a better position and extend drifts instead of scrubbing speed. For this drift breakdown, I didn't want to include every single run. A lot of the runs were kind of repetitive, and not until later in the day did I adjust my line and try new things. In time, I'll get better and continue to grow as a driver. I really am doing everything I can to continue to learn as much as I can and learn techniques on different methods of drifting. And this next year, I kind of want to start a series with my S13 Coupe and drift it with a stock KA and show that it is possible to drift a stock KA, and show my struggles and my adjustments that I need to make, and try kind of drift with a low powered car, because my S14 has, I think, 300 wheel horsepower, and it'll be interesting to cut that in half and see how I do and what I have to do to continue drifting with a low powered car. So I'm super excited for that. That's most likely next year. I still got to manual swap it, but let me know what you guys think. This is kind of a relatively quicker or a shorter BD drift breakdown, but I wanted to definitely show you guys some of my bad runs, because not everyone's perfect every single run, and I'm okay showing that. Of course, this is just a learning experience. This whole journey is pretty much a learning experience, and you don't learn from when things are great. You always learn from when you're in sticky situations, as well as it's good to know when next time I grip up too much, I can make those adjustments early on in the day instead of trying to fight it and trying to figure out what's going on. It's all learning stuff for both of us, and I hope you guys take from this video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments below. If I can't answer it, I'll always reach out to my homies and try to see what they think. Most likely they can answer it. They're way better and way more knowledgeable, but I enjoy going through these videos because it really helps me in the long run. I mean, it really helps me when it comes down to getting better as a driver and progressing and quickly learning my mistakes and bad habits. So but for that, I will call it a day. I appreciate it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. I always enjoy doing these BD drift breakdowns. I want to continue to make them, and I'm going to keep trying different tracks and switching them up. I never hit the same track over and over again. I always kind of switch back and forth to keep myself on my toes and not comfortable, because you get real comfortable with the same lines you run over and over again. But happy fracking Wednesday. make sure you guys check out BecauseDaddy.com. A new discount code: if you go into the Clutch Kicking Cancer shirts, you will get the shirts for $15, as well as a Clutch Kicking die cut. Use the code CKCLove. Holla at your boy, guys. Happy Wednesday.
And nothing's ever made me cry as much as you, I swear. Your smile gives me motivation and some new ideas. My worst fear was always you not knowing who I am. Cause I've been on the road, dream chasing for you out here. I was the first thing that you opened your eyes to, and the last one that you said goodnight to. I went home and cried to, and I bawled my eyes out and then watched you. Glad I got you, that's a blatant fact. And every negative thing I said, I swear I take it back.